So we arrive at the fourth James Bond film, the fourth Sean Connery film as 007 from December 1965, Thunderball. Now, it's a mammoth film, it really is, and I have to say, I try every time I watch it to like it more, but something stops me, and I don't know what it is. I don't think it is one of the best Sean Connery films. I don't think it's one of the best Bond films particularly. I always want to like it more than I do though, and I'm not sure why that is. I think it's because of the reputation that it has, because of the earliest James Bond films. It grossed significantly more than the rest combined, basically. With inflation of cinema ticket prices, it's still one of the biggest film releases of its time, and the demand for Bond was huge after Goldfinger. So in the run-up to the release of Thunderball, it's, you know, Christmas 1965 was the year for James Bond. Basically, it was the Christmas of James Bond. There were Corgi were releasing cars, James Bond cars, the Aston Martins. There was so much memorabilia for Thunderball as well. The score itself from John Barry was released. Was only partly released at the time. It wasn't until many years later that the full Thunderball score was actually released. But it's another stirring score from John Barry. It's the third of the films that John Barry did the music for, and there's some great scenes actually. Originally, the underwater scenes in the film had no musical score to them, and thank God they had some score put to it, because that's, to be honest, the music in some places is the best part of Thunderball, particularly for that underwater battle. In terms of visual effects, it's actually very good. I mean, it won John Steers an Academy Award for visual effects at the time, but I don't know, it feels a bit too laboured for me. The underwater sequences, although they don't take up a lot of the screen time, when you consider that that it was the longest of the James Bond films to date at the time. The film is about 2 hours and 10 minutes roughly, and about half an hour of that, actually, though, is taken up with underwater sequences. So the film does rely, actually, quite heavily on sequences underwater, which do labour the film slightly, in my opinion. If we go back to the very beginning, though, excellent pre-title sequence. The first shot you get is the initials JB on the side of a coffin, and Bond is there with a French contact that he has, and they're in the church and they're looking down at the coffin, but it's the initials of Jacques Bouvard, who is one of the Spectre agents, who has apparently been killed, and Bond soon discovers that he hasn't, and he is moonlighting as a grieving widow. And Bond soon dispatches the agent, and of course Spectre as an organisation, as soon as they discover it's Bond, decide to exact revenge on him, because he's already bumped off quite a few Spectre agents so far. Rosa Klebb, Kronstein's dead, Morzini's gone, and Dr. No, of course, from the very first film. So yeah, it's not looking good for Spectre at the moment. There's a particularly great scene towards the beginning of the film where the villain of the film, Largo, played by Adolfo Celli, he sits in on a Spectre meeting, and it's very, you know, it's been parodied by Austin Powers and the Dr. Evil things, where Blofeld returns in this film. He's sitting with his cat once again, and he's in control of the buttons and the chairs, and he dispatches one of the Spectre agents because he believes that the Spectre agent has embezzled money from a previous job that the Spectre organisation have entrusted to two agents, and one of them is dispatched in a very Austin Powers style way, we expect now, but it's a nice little scene actually. It works very well, and it shows it shows just how menacing Blofeld is. Even when you don't see his face, you just see the outline and hear that very deep, menacing voice of Blofeld. So once again, another very brief appearance from Blofeld. We will see him fully facially in You Only Live Twice, the next film. But that's enough for now for Thunderball. So with that out of the way, we've also had the titles designed again, the main titles from Maurice Binder back again after Robert Brownjohn did the titles for Goldfinger, and a complete underwater theme, and Tom Jones belting out the song Thunderball as well. At one point it was going to be Dionne Warwick's Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That's what the film was originally to be called, but they went for Thunderball in the end, which is the better option in my opinion. I do like Dionne Warwick's song as well though. I think it actually works particularly well over the title sequence if you play it over the titles, but I mean, Tom Jones did a great effort with Thunderball. Rumour has it as well that while he was recording the song, with that end note, he holds it so long that I think he almost fainted in the recording studio when he recorded it with John Barry. So it's the same with Shirley Bassey. Shirley Bassey recounts that she nearly fainted on that last note of Goldfinger as well. So John Barry really got the best out of them, certainly with their respective Bond themes. So another good one from Tom Jones for Thunderball. In terms of characters, Emilio Largo is the villain. He is number 2 of the Spectre agents, and he's got the eye patch. He looks villainous. He's got those trademarks. And but to be honest, he doesn't do a huge amount in the film. You don't want to cross Largo by any means, but I wouldn't say that he is the best villain in the series. I think he relies too much on his henchmen, particularly Vargas, to do the dispatching of Bond and anybody else that he wants to get rid of. It's the women that really stand out in Thunderball, in my opinion. Martine Beswick is here as Paula. She was also in From Russia with Love, so Terence Young obviously liked her particularly. So she has been in 2 James Bond films as well. She was one of the gypsy girls in From Russia with Love, and she appears in Thunderball as Paula. An ally to Bond, and Paula very tragically dies in the film at the hands of once again of Largo's henchmen, and the 2 main women though are Domino, who is played by Claudine Auger, who was a former Miss World. And Luciana Paluzzi as well plays Fiona Volpe. She gets some great lines in the film. And she originally auditioned for the role of Domino for The Good Girl, but it worked out totally the right way. Fiona Volpe, Luciana Paluzzi, is one of the best villainesses actually in the Bond series. She gets some great lines. She gets a great exit from the film as well in Bond's arms when they're dancing together. She takes the bullets that's meant for Bond, and Bond gets a great line as well. Do you mind if my friend sits this one out? She's just dead. It's so dry, but it's my kind of sarcasm, really is. So that's a great line. There are lots of great lines in the film, once again, like Goldfinger, but where this film doesn't quite reach up to the heights of Goldfinger is the fact that it is a little too long, and it's kind of hampered by a few too many exposition scenes. And there's quite a lot of talking, and it's actually quite a complex plot as well, so you do really need to watch it carefully to understand everything that's going on. It's not a bad film by any means. There are some great moments in the film. As I've said, Fiona Volpe is... Luciana Paluzzi plays one of the best villainesses in the film. She's better in many respects than Adolfo Celli as Largo. So she is the best villain of the film. Domino, played by Claudine Auger, has that kind of naivety to her as well, but she's beautiful. I mean, you could see quite easily how she was Miss France in the 1960s. A beautiful Bond girl. Both of them particularly good in this, and also Molly Peters as well, a British actress, plays Patricia at the Shrublands Clinic as well. That Bond is at the towards the beginning of the film, and again, that's another nice little performance. Q returns again. We have a new Felix Leiter as well. Rick Van Nutter plays Felix Leiter in Thunderball. So 3 Felix Leiters already within the first 4 films. Yeah, generally it was a sign of the times. Basically, it's fit the zeitgeist very nicely, and I mean, what can I say? It was Bond mania. The gadgets were pretty extreme this time, and you could kind of see though that Sean Connery was his interest was wavering slightly here with this film. Product placement huge in Thunderball. It was Bond mania basically, and if Sean Connery's showing less enthusiasm in Thunderball, then wait till we get to You Only Live Twice. There are moments in that film where he really doesn't seem to be enjoying himself at all. But for all intents and purposes, Thunderball is an exciting film. Lots of great moments once again, but it's not quite up there with the standard of the first 3, in my opinion. You can check out my 3 favourite scenes from Thunderball at the end of this video, and James Bond will return in You Only Live Twice, so make sure you're back.